Hello, everybody. Hello to everyone watching live and listening in the future to our new podcast version. This is TV&D. It's the show where we play classic dungeon crawls as classic TV casts. I'm Brian. I'm the game master here, of course, as always, with Carolyn Page, Eli Uden, and Tony Wilson.
Hello.
Contract negotiations were up to the wire, but we got everybody back.
I was holding out.
We all agreed to not get paid again. That's great.
Yeah.
All the money that you gave us last season, we just put in a pile and set on fire.
I refused to go to training camp, but I did show up for the regular season. A lot of contract negotiations going.
You should see Eli's writer. It's
big.
It's a lot. It's
specific. A lot of requests.
He only wants the brown M&Ms.
I'm sorry for valuing myself. Wow. You know. Now this sounds real. Now this sounds like a real writer.
We don't have any writers yet.
That's the important part. Hi everybody. Welcome back to season 2.
Yeah.
That's all there is to say about that, I guess. We're back with a new season, a new set of campaigns, new characters, and I'm excited to see what happens. We are starting off with Frasier, a show we were all loosely familiar with before this.
I think we were all like, we absolutely watched it a ton growing up, but could not tell you too many facts about it or any episode plots, but we all like watched it a lot.
It's like a numbing bath that just washes over you and leaves no impression whatsoever.
I had never seen a single moment of it until I did my research for this episode. Because you guys were like, it was on after The Simpsons, and I just kept watching, and I was like, oh, that's when I turned off the TV, and I did something else. So.
I made it appointment viewing with my family, which was really strange. It was the only thing that we watched together, and I wanted to get a Jack Russell Terrier because of Eddie the dog, and then my mom surprised me with an entirely different dog that I didn't want. That was like mean and weird, and we gave it away.
To be fair, Jack Russell Terrier, big ownership responsibility. Very energetic dogs.
Yeah, the thing is, we didn't want any dog. Not pictured in the story is the 2 other times we also got a dog and gave it away.
Wow. Heel turn for Tony's family on the stream.
But not Tony himself, who's a very loyal pet owner.
But
I'm sort of like
you cats.
the dog got me. That's me.
What?
Dog got me?
Because I'm a loyal guy. I'm the dog of men. There we go.
I see.
I'm holding it now. You can call me that whenever you like.
All right.
Brian.
Yeah,
what are we doing here?
should we get into this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Season 2, folks, and nothing's changed.
Nothing has changed. I had all these bright ideas. It was going to be a much more professional show.
No.
Oh well. All right, gang. So, most adventurers have heard of the Mines of Maguffia. It's this dungeon beneath a faraway fortress filled with untold treasures and the dangers that guard them. Few, of course, are foolhardy enough to plume the depths and see its dangers and halls with their own eyes. Niles Crane, who is Tony. Tony, tell me about Niles real fast.
Oh, Niles is like. Do you want me to like as for real Niles or as
Tony, tell me about
Niles
the
would describe
character.
himself?
Tell me about the D&D character of Niles.
So
For the show that we're
I
doing
see.
right now.
We're rusty. Niles is a magic user. You know, he's a boy man who's very considered in the mental arts. You know, today you might call them a psychologist, but in the ancient days of Catch-all City, he's a twerpy little boy who does spells.
Beautiful. Well, Niles, you're the one who has actually wrangled up these fools. Legends say that somewhere within the mines of Maguffia, there lay a bottle of wine vinified by the gods themselves. Being able to serve this at a dinner party would immediately buy you a ticket into the Catch-all City High Society. And you've somehow convinced your brother Frasier and your father Martin to join you in your quest. Let's see.
Good on me. Way to go, Niles.
So Eli, you're Frasier.
I am Frasier. I am a high elf fighter, which is unusual because in one of the episodes I watched, he specifically said, we are psychiatrists, not pugilists. So in this version, he is very specifically a psychiatrist slash pugilist. He's a high elf fighter. He writes, I suppose, a very widely circulated scroll.
Oh, there you go.
that
There you go.
everyone reads in the land of Seattle, or whatever the rainiest part of this country of Catchalia, or whatever our greater country is.
They just call it Pike Place, and it's a place with a bunch of pikes.
Yes, yes. So
Oh.
yeah, and I'm going along with this to support my brother because I feel that he just, if he could get into high society, he could stop bothering me to be my +1 to events that I'm invited to, and I would like to use those +1s myself. So that's sort of my motivation here. And also, I found out that Frasier is just my fancy voice without ever having to watch it. So I'm already ready. Frasier, Niles. Yes, right.
My fancy voice.
Niles.
When you put on your fancy voice.
Oh, we're gonna get a lot of plinth today. Plinth, Niles, a plinth. Up on the
Ooh,
plinth.
that
Niles.
sounds good. That's a little ASMR.
The only thing I could do that I wish I could make this more Frasier for everyone. I don't know any French, and they talk a lot of French, so I'm not a linguist myself. Though
What is the D&D equivalent of French?
Elvish, 100% it's Elvish.
Makes sense.
Oh,
Yes.
totally.
Yeah.
Such a romantic language.
And I
like
am a high
Elvish
elf.
accents are always so hot,
That's Legolas. Any language he speaks, sign me up.
Legolas,
Beautiful
the
elf.
beautiful elf.
Yes. I'm a
Um,
high elf, which makes a lot of sense for every, as things go.
Carolyn, can you tell us about Martin?
I'm Martin. I'm a former ranger until I took an arrow to the hip. I have a loyal dog companion named Eddie who's always close by. I was also in a war once, but then I became a ranger, and I wasn't shot in the war. I was shot on duty as a ranger of the woodlands.
This is
Great.
gonna
Lose
be
my
one
voice
where-
in about 15
Yeah,
minutes.
exactly. Like, this is one of the ones where Carolyn's gonna need like a fisherman's friend in a moment. Yeah.
So what compelled you to join your fancy sons on their dungeon expedition?
My fancy sons they know their way around a charcuterie board. They know their way around a tavern, but when it comes to dangers of the dungeoneering kind, Papa's gonna come with.
Can we just assume that this is the first time that Frasier or Niles have ever willingly put themselves in danger?
I assume.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did all the schooling? You of course went to the adventuring academy. But-
We were raised by our mother. While we get along with Martin very well, it wasn't the kind of upbringing that is proper for elves of our age and class.
I may have not been in any real-life combat situations, but of course I was educated in fencing and swordplay at the schools I attended. And how much different can it be than scoring a point on one of the top fencers on the east coast of Catchall City? If I can best him, I assume I can best most goblins.
Makes sense. Great. So several days of travel have finally brought you to a valley surrounded by perilous mountains. And the tiny frontier
Niles, those
town.
mountains look perilous.
Niles doesn't hear it because he's busy like swatting mosquitoes away from his face, and he already looks like this is a huge mistake.
What? Boys, they're beautiful. Come take a look. Oh, it's gorgeous. Nature's majesty.
Ah, yes, get them closer to my mouth. Good idea, Dad.
You come upon the tiny town of Cabell. This is just a place to rest and restock before finally making your journey to the mines of Maguffia up towards the northwest. So you step into this tiny frontier town, and it's a little different from maybe what Niles and Frasier are used to. There are these big fat flies moving through the air around cow and horse poop that's just laid out in the streets. There's a couple of like fruit stands with like rotting vegetables and fruit. What are your reactions stepping in? Like, people live like this.
Yeah, this is
Well,
certainly...
surely the
Go ahead.
Surely or certainly. It sounds like we're both going the same direction. I mean, surely there is a 4-star inn nearby for our accommodations, and it must just be up the road this way or that way, or, maybe just back the direction we came from. And Niles spins around to leave.
Niles, I think the only
before...
4 stars we'll be seeing are the 4 stars floating around my head after I pass out from this stench.
Martin takes these 2 boys by their ears, and turns them in and turns them back around to the path and goes, "Boys, I don't care one way or another about this wine, but you 2 are going to complete this quest if it kills me or both of you or all of us. Let's go."
Not my pointed ears, Dad.
Yeah, he takes their pointed ears
Yeah.
and pulls them even more.
Well, that looks like perhaps the local watering hole.
There is a tiny tavern that, it's as you're like walking by it, like you can hear a fight breaking out within, and some guy gets thrown through a window and just collapses in a heap on the ground.
My God.
This is my kind of place.
So we're
Niles... Go ahead.
our objective is to get this wine in the dungeons of
Yeah,
Magathia.
so currently you're in a town where you can talk to the locals, you can pick up some stock and supplies if there's anything you'd like to buy, or you can just start making your way to the dungeon.
I mean, we have like basic adventuring supplies with us,
I have
right?
a lot of stuff with me, according
Okay,
to my
yeah.
character sheet. So I'm feeling good on supplies. I mean, we could.
Yeah,
if we
I'm
want
feeling good.
information, we could do it, but it's up to you guys.
I think Marty's ready to go. Marty's ready to cruise through town and get on his way.
Yeah, I mean, Niles is halfway to the door, and he sees the guy get thrown through the window, and he goes, "On second thought, I'll just use the bathroom when we get there."
Great. So, you guys like take a moment in town and then are pretty ready to get on your way. Looking at the map, you are going to have to cross through the Dark Forest.
No.
Are there any apprehensions about that?
Are you kidding? It's a forest that's dark. What could be worse?
Well, Niles, perfectly. This is what you wanted, is it not? A bit of adventure, a nice dark forest. It's fine with me. After you, brother.
No. After you, I insist.
but this
The
is your
oldest first,
adventure.
of course.
But this is your
Marty
adventure.
rolls his
buddy.
eyes and pushes them both aside and barges through.
Well, he's gone.
wonderful.
Well, I was about to suggest, Dad, go right ahead.
We're orphans now, Niles.
We'll
We're
be
on our own.
right behind you.
I'm setting up our first poll of the season for
Wow.
what do you encounter in the Dark Forest? Currently on our
trees.
Twitch chat, which if you're listening to the podcast version, join us live Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock EST, twitch.tv/TV&D, and you can participate in polls like this. Currently what I'm asking, what do you encounter in the Dark Forest? Is it goblins or an ogre?
Oh.
It's currently 50-50 right now. Tell me, is there any scene, any misunderstandings or buffoonery happening as you make your way through the forest?
I think I'm trying to. I have some flint and steel and oil flasks. So maybe I'm trying to make some sort of torch, something like that. Having a bit of trouble with the flint and steel.
Hand over to Niles, who has, I don't see it in my character sheet, but I'm just going ahead and inventing it anyway, lest Brian stop me. A very ornate lantern that he has already got lit up and is holding it up, and then sees that it is, beginning to, show wear on this otherwise fine gilded lantern, and decides to blow it out instead because he doesn't want to damage his heirloom.
And while these 2 boys are having the hardships of the wilderness, Marty sees like a passing farmer family just like out for a nighttime stroll and just like waves at them and is like, "Oh, I'm sorry about my boys. This is their first time out of the city."
I managed to make a torch, but like I wrapped it too far down, so it's clearly kind of like burning my hand a little bit, and I'm just kind of fighting through it.
Too proud to put it out.
Mm.
Great. So, you guys are making your way through the woods, moving down this dirt path. Before you see it, you can hear this rushing river cutting its way through the forest.
Niles, couldn't you wait? We're right here.
Let's see. Over this river is this rickety bridge where you can see 3 goblins making a poor attempt at spear fishing in the river. They're just awkwardly just running their spears into the river, not getting a fish, and then trying again. And on the other side of the river is a goblin riding a dire wolf. And it seems to be patrolling up and down the river, keeping an eye on the rest of the group. What do you do?
Okay, Marty grabs both of his boys, puts his hand over their mouths, and motions to Eddie. He goes around and Eddie keeps watch. And then Marty's just gonna say,
I'll surprise attack the one far across the river.
"Is the river far? Can I shoot my bow across the river?"
You may shoot your bow across the river.
Okay, I would like to sneak, and I would like to convey to the boys that this is the tactical plan, that I'm going to sneak up, shoot the wolf goblin, and then they can preferably stay hidden behind some bushes or something, and then surprise the...
Me and Niles can stay hidden. Yeah, sure. Good plan, good plan.
You're already behind the bush.
Good thinking, boys.
I've got to prepare my weapons. Need to sharpen my sword. I have to find my whetstone.
Niles is already reading a scroll and drinking tea. And were you talking to me?
Yeah.
Get ready to ambush the goblins, boys.
Dr. Hacken says, try talking to them. Have you met Carolyn? We're not talking to anybody.
No, we're not talking to them. Let's go combat. They're goblies. So I'm gonna crouch down and try and shoot this one.
So the goblin riding the dire wolf across the river.
Yeah.
Great. So you're gonna try and do it quietly, sneakily, correct?
Yes, I have, because I'm a ranger, I have a surprise attack. So in the wilderness, a ranger has a 3 in 6 chance of going unnoticed when sneaking up on the target.
Great. Go ahead and roll a d6 for me real fast.
You got it. That's a 3.
Great. So Martin moves maybe quietly through the brush, gets onto a knee, knocks back the arrow, and let's see. Could you please fire your bow for me? On your character sheet, you should just be able to hit that little dice next to the longbow.
Okay, sorry. Where's the longbow?
Okay, if you go to your character sheet and scroll down to weapons, it should say longbow. And there should be a little D20 icon to the left of it.
Character sheet, weapons.
It's like real D&D.
Yeah, it is. Sorry, where are the weapons? Gear?
Let's see. So if you're...
I got it. Here we go.
This is just Marty being a little senile, actually looking for his bow.
That's a 2. That's not good at all, Brian.
It's so what happens? What goes wrong?
Well, Marty's forgotten that the last time he was on active duty, he had 2 fully articulated legs, and he has a peg leg now. Okay. So he rustles some bushes. He goes to kneel down gracefully on one knee, and then just kind of falls over and makes a huge clatter.
Great. So the arrow strikes the sand near the river, and right at the feet of the direwolf, which sends the goblin on alert. He rears back on the wolf and begins to trot back towards the bridge, where he shouts something in Goblin, and suddenly the 3 goblins on the bridge stop spearfishing and are now on alert, looking into your direction, but they don't seem to see you. What do you do?
Marty turns back to the boys and whispers
they weren't very good at spearfishing, so maybe they won't be very good at spear fighting?
Well, now you've done it. And I'll just stand up out of the brush and start picking. I have plate mail on, and so when I stand up, I catch a bunch of leaves and stuff in it, and I'm very focused on picking them all out of my plate. They're in all the little cracks and crevices. It's impeding my movement. 1 second.
Wait, Frasier, you're giving me an idea. I would like to.
First time.
I do a little resentful double take before I go over to a bush and try to dig up a bush for us to like cartoon walk with and hide behind.
Okay, so
Here's
Think
the
of
plan
the ecosystem,
in total.
Niles.
Oh, one bush can do for us. That was not a sentence, but imagine them Niles said like real words instead. Like
One bush could
a
do
very
something
articulate
for
man
us.
might.
We're on a
And
riverbank,
then-
Niles. The
And
erosion.
then Marty says some joke about a bush and your mother.
Wow, are we just
Whoa.
giving up?
Yep.
Frasier, late night. Here's the plan as a whole. I would like to dig up the bush and then suggest that we continue to, I make some dig. These feeble-minded goblins are so easily distracted by an arrow, and they couldn't tell where it was coming from, even though it was painfully obvious, Dad. If we just continue to put distractions other than the way that we're going, we should be able to cross the bridge behind the bush.
So they'll think it's just a bush growing on a bridge, Niles?
Yes, do they seem to know what they're doing out there?
They seem to have spent their whole lives on this bridge, probably grew up there. They'll notice a new bush, Niles.
Boys, I also noticed that there seems to be some logs and a sandbar a bit further downstream from the
Marty is correct.
A
bridge.
giant die on top of it.
Marty is correct. A little further down from the bridge is exactly what he described. A large, log leading over to a small island, and then hastily put together planks. It is passable.
Perhaps a
It's a
bush wouldn't look
passable-
so out of place down there.
Hmm.
Well, Dad, I knew we got our smarts from somewhere in the family.
So we're gonna dig up. I'm still upset about the erosion, though. I'm like, the riverbank will
I
be
guess-
up here by next winter. But I suppose we can pass.
Is that so?
I
Is that the
dig
move?
up this
Are we like
bush.
slowly by the bush, like inch by inch, making your way
Yeah.
down that way?
That feels right
You
for this
bet.
group.
Great. Let's make it to get all the way down to to that log with a bush.
Dad,
I
you
think it's-
stand closest to them. That way you'll think your peg leg is a natural root growing out of the bush.
Okay, you got it.
Let's see. I think let's make that a Carolyn. Roll a d6 for me.
Okay.
And on a 1 or a 2, they are gonna notice the bush. On a 3, 4, 5, 6, you will manage to make it to the log.
Okay, this is Marty trying to use all of his ranger skill to help his sons. That's a 6.
Yeah.
Great.
Woo!
So your party, inch by inch, so they do, wait, making your way,
DMCA takedown.
you make your way down the riverbank, past the goblins who seem none the while they're mostly focused up to the north, and after a little bit of time, seem distracted again by fish in the river. And even though the direwolf goblin is maybe a little more concerned about the random arrow that came out, the other goblins haven't seen it and go about their day. So you've reached the log. What happens next?
I want to see how the guy with the peg leg gets across a log.
I'll shimmy.
But
I'll
we will have
shimmy.
to, if we want to stay all behind the bush, we're gonna have to move onto a log like synchronized together.
Yeah, I think we
Alright.
try and do that.
We'll
And
have
then the
to
worst
move in
that happens-
synchronization, or else the log will simply roll out from under us. I'll count
Okay.
us off.
I'll whisper a beat.
Now, 1 is for the left leg.
1,
And
1,
2
2,
is don't
3,
start. We're not
4,
going. No,
1,
now we're
2,
going.
3,
We-
4.
Martin's
1,
just started
2,
walking.
Whoa!
4,
We're just
1,
chasing after him.
2, 3.
Okay. So I'm
3
gonna
and 4. There's only 2 legs. This is going.
okay, I'm gonna need everyone to make their first dex check. You're gonna roll under your dex score. Only one of you has to make it for everyone to make it across.
Okay.
River.
I
If
have
only
minus
life were
1
so
to
fair.
dex.
Eli, since your
Who-
screen's kind of a pain, how about I just roll for you?
I can roll.
Okay, great.
Is that the roll for me?
That.
I just rolled.
Oh, okay. That's
Okay, great.
Carolyn's roll.
I rolled
Um,
a 10
Great.
-1, so that's a 9.
I
Is
will
that
roll
less
next.
than your dex?
I rolled a 14.
Great. So
my
Carolyn
dex is
above or
12.
below
sorry.
your guys' dexes? Because that's the thing. Right?
That's
It has to be
above mine.
under our dex.
It has to be under your
Okay.
dex. Yes.
Oh, under our deck. That's
Yes. So,
dex.
Niles, you slip, but maybe somebody manages to grab you. Let's see. Martin, you've got the peg leg, so you're in trouble too, right?
Yeah, I have -1 to dex, but my dex is 8, and I
Yeah.
rolled.
So you
now.
fail.
Yeah.
If you'd simply allowed me to establish the rhythm I was intending for, we wouldn't have had such slip-ups. And as I'm saying,
It's the same thing as the 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, we're all in the water.
Oh no!
Is it the same? Is it the same, Dad?
So you all splash into the water.
My plate mail's going to rust.
So you all go traveling down the river. The goblins may be noticing as your bush just like dissipates in the river. After a period of time, you're able to swim your way to shore, clear of goblins. Now, what I need to do, I need
Can I
everyone
mention
to.
that Niles is comedically doggy paddling behind Eddie, who is much more efficient at doggy paddling.
Eddie's with us? That's so dangerous.
What I need
Eddie's
everyone
the
to
best
do.
swimmer of any of us.
I need everyone to roll a d6. If you roll a 1, unfortunately, because of the current in the river, you're going to lose your weapon if you roll a 1.
How deep is... I have 2 questions. How deep is this river? And have we passed under the bridge that the goblins are on?
You were going the other direction.
Oh,
so
the
you're
current was away
very
from the bridge.
Yes, you're
Okay.
very clear of the bridge.
Okay,
The
I'm gonna
river
roll.
is swimmable.
I
just
got a
gonna
1.
say, I'm
I
wearing
rolled a 1.
I'm wearing plate mail and I have a shield and a sword. So I don't think there's any chance I'm gonna get washed away. I do think there's a chance I just drown on the bottom of the river. So Carolyn's off down the river. I'll roll d6, right?
I've lost my
Yep.
sword and my longbow.
Well, you can pick which weapon you lose. You don't have to lose both.
Oh, well, I use my
Frasier
sword
is
as my
fine.
cane, so I'm gonna lose my longbow.
Great. So your
Yeah, I'm
longbow
just
is unfortunately.
rooted in my because I'm plate mail. The current isn't. I just stand up and it's going around me. Niles, what are you doing? You look like a fool. Stop swimming.
All right,
This
I'm
isn't
gonna
the
roll
Y.
now.
The Y is a thing. That's also.
All right, I have rolled a 2. I have barely managed to hold on to. I'm doggy paddling after my staff and managed to. I'm slight enough as an elf that my staff is buoyant enough to keep me afloat.
Your staff and your leg are both floating.
Yeah, my peg leg floats and it like somehow gets tangled with my bow as my bow floats away.
So unfortunately, Martin has lost a pretty useful weapon. But other than that, you make it to the other side of the river okay, and you are able, while admittedly much moister, are able to make your way out of the dark forest and eventually reach the mines of Maguffia.
I would like to dry my armor because otherwise it will rust.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll
Well,
take a short
Frasier
rest.
is-
We'll take a short rest after we get out from the bank, and Frasier can dry his armor.
What do you want me
Exiting
to
the
be?
bank, I look around and say, "Well, I'm bushed," and I think either Frasier or Martin or both probably slap me in the back of the head, and like maybe like a fish falls out of my shirt.
I can't slap you in the back of the head because I have plate mail on, and I would give you just a huge concussion.
I will allow it.
Eddie just starts barking at you, really.
How big of a dog is Eddie in this world? Is he a wolf? What's Eddie's, or is he just a Jack Russell Terrier still?
Carolyn, I'll leave that up to you.
I think he's a bit more wolfish than
And he'd be a
then-
Jack Russell Terrier that's the size of a wolf.
yeah, he's the Jack Russell Terrier that's the size of a wolf.
All right.
A dire Jack Russell Terrier.
He's a dire
Yeah,
Jack Russell Terrier. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Which means it's the
So-
size of like a standard poodle.
A Jack Russell Terrier. Very good. Watching them.
Wow.
Oh.
Very good.
Very good.
So, after a couple more hours of travel, you eventually reach, of course, the Mines of Maguffia, which is this, carved into the side of the mountain is this huge, intimidating-looking fortress, and then a cavern to the side of it that leads into the massive magical mega dungeon beneath it.
A little
Now,
much, don't you think? We get it. It's a dungeon.
Niles, you've in gathering your brother and your father to go on this quest with you, you've maybe neglected to mention something, and that's that you don't know where the bottle of wine actually is within the dungeon. So
Oh,
before you.
I'll get right into it.
This
All
is
right,
nice for me to
Niles.
find out as well.
All right, Niles, which way?
Well, I know where it is, Frasier. It's here in the dungeon.
No,
somewhere.
that's his lying voice. Ever
Oh,
since you was a
no.
baby, that's the tone of voice he takes when he lies. We don't know where this thing is.
Niles, tell me you have at least a map. A general map.
I have a great sense of cardinal direction. I'll
That's
have you
not
know.
true at all.
Thankfully, in the dungeon, the legends say that there is a dwarf named the Mapsmith who can forge you a map anywhere you'd like to go within the dungeon. You just have to make a quick pit stop there, acquire a map, and you'll be a member of high society in no time.
Is this a metal map that he forges? Because that would be pretty cool.
It's who knows?
The Mapsmith, world's
Sounds
heaviest
inconvenient.
maps.
Mapsmith sounds cool. Can we just get a spin-off just about the Mapsmith, please?
Mapsmith.
That Map Smith was probably my favorite doctor.
Yeah, Mapsmith
dare you.
is canonically a Doctor Who.
So after making your way through the halls of the Mines of Maguffia, you eventually reach the Forge of the Mapsmith. Some stairs lean down into a stone chamber, not too large. There is a door to the north, lined with 2 columns, and it is dimly lit by torches on the walls. What do you do?
Well, I hope he has some good reading spectacles because I can't read anything, let alone a map with lighting like this.
Well,
That's
this
not a
is your
suggestion of what we do.
responsibility.
That's just I'm just
Yeah.
being annoying. Yes.
You're the one who didn't bring a map, so I suggest you're the one who procures it. Up to the door.
Oh,
I
there is.
politely. Yes.
As you step up to the door, there are some old, yellowed, covered in cobweb, like heap of bones right in front of the door.
Eddie's gonna go sniff the bones and see if there's anything valuable in there.
Let's see. There is like a dagger that's rusted over. It's pretty old. Doesn't seem to be worth much.
Okay.
Leave it, boy. Up, leave
See?
it.
That man didn't dry his dagger, and now it's rusted.
Can I add color that Eddie like picks up the skull, comes back, and just like drops it at the feet of Niles, who just like turns and shakes and gulps at Frasier.
What are you waiting for, Niles? Are you going to do Hamlet to the door?
Yeah,
I
this
would
is your
just
first
like to
step.
be a gracious guest. I will approach and knock in time. I was making sure that we're not off hours when it would be inconvenient or rude.
What about being
I'm-
fashionably late to a mapsmith?
I'm going to knock. I am knocking. I will knock. Thusly, now. I close my eyes and walk 10 steps forward, and then like knock. But it's a step too far away, and then I gulp, and then take another step, and then knock on the door.
You make so there's this large lurching like knock knock sound, and it echoes through the room a little bit, but there is no response.
Well, I guess
for
no one's
crying
home.
For crying out loud.
Marty's gonna open the door.
So Marty pushes past Niles and just goes for the handle.
Yeah,
I would like Niles to fall in the bones when he gets pushed past.
yeah.
I
I would
fall in the
also like, like have Niall fall in the bones.
Right next to another
so-
skull.
As you hit the handle, you hear this like hissing noise, and then a sudden spurt of green smoke, like smog, hits both you and Niles' faces.
The Riddler.
Spurt.
I'm
Um,
allergic to poison.
So yeah, I am gonna need both of you to save versus poison.
Ooh.
I have like a
Yeah.
hanky, and I'm just like, oh, like, because I'm far enough away from the cloud, right? So I just
Yeah,
kind of like
yeah.
casually cover my mouth with a hanky, and I'm watching.
Okay, great. So
alright.
on your character
I will
sheets,
roll.
there is literally a button for death, poison. Click that.
Yes. Wow.
I've got it ready to go. I'll roll first. Threshold modifier 0.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. That's a lovely 4, which I imagine is terrific.
Niles,
I love a 4.
you begin to cough, and
No!
these the veins in your skin turn black as the poison seeps into your body. Martin,
Oh.
make a roll.
Oh, I've killed my son.
My complexion.
That's I can't see it. Oh, I can't see it.
Let's see. You also failed with a 10.
No.
So you're both gonna take 3 damage.
Oh no.
But other than that, you're okay. How does it feel having been poisoned?
I think the poison makes
Feels
Marty
bad,
a little.
Brian.
The poison makes Marty a little loopy, and he's kind of like drunk with it. And he's like, "Hey, this stuff's not so bad."
I'll walk through as the poison cloud clears. I'm walking through, like, just waving my hand like that, just like waving it away with my hanky. Like, if you're done, I'll open the door now.
So now the door opens without an issue, and you step out into this hallway that, splits to the west and then also continues north. Both stop at doors, these thick iron doors.
Well, Niles, care to use your power of cardinal direction to tell us which way we should go? And he's very poisoned, I guess.
Yeah, I've got like stuff oozing out of my ears, and I just like turn to Frasier and I just say, "No, you are."
Niles, you're embarrassing yourself.
As a ranger, I have pretty good tracking abilities. I'm gonna try and track this dwarf and see if I can discern about where he's gone.
Sure. Let's see here. So you've got your tracking abilities. We are in a dungeon. Go ahead and roll for under your tracking skills. Roll hidden tracks.
Hidden tracks.
I feel
Beep,
like
boop,
dwarves
boop.
aren't exactly. They leave a trail, you know? They're heavy.
It's just not soft ground.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
He's probably
right.
got
Dungeon
stuff on his
floor.
boots. Perhaps
It's possible.
Map bits. Map
Um,
bits.
I mean,
Carolyn,
I
you
was
go down to
leaving a trail of
abilities and
beard hair
skills
everywhere I went.
on
and it was only
the
this
character
once.
page.
Abilities and skills.
Yep,
Abilities and skills.
on that first
hidden,
page.
Hidden tracks, right?
You got it. You got it.
Here we go. Here we go.
Unfortunately, you look around, you scope out the floor, maybe looking for some like footprints in the dust, and you maybe Niles sneezes
Beard
from
hairs
the
and
dust,
stuff.
and it clears all the dust away, removing any tracks.
Well, so much for that.
Still deaf from the stuff in my ears. I just say, "No, you are," to Martin, also clearly losing touch with reality.
Tell you what everyone can
Go.
do though.
What?
Sorry, Eli, were you gonna?
No, go, because I think we're about to have some sort of check. So, yeah. Let's see.
Everyone can. Let's see. On your character sheets under exploration, you can find listen at door. And you can each roll that to see if you hear anything behind the
Yes.
doors.
Okay, great.
Martin, you can't hear anything. It's a thick iron door.
I'm old.
Eli, it's
Niles.
just a D6.
All right. I just rolled 4.
You also cannot hear anything.
All right, Niles presses his gushy goo ear up against the door and rolls a 5.
Each of you, nothing. You have no information.
All right, we'll go north. I'm not sure Niles will make it to the end of the hallway.
Who steps up to the door to the north?
I'll step up there. I'll just attempt to open it. I have a lot of confidence right now.
Great. So Frasier, we see you go to the door, you turn the handle, and as you begin to open it, there seems to be something on the other side blocking the door, and you can hear some voices and commotion as you attempt to open it.
Oh, now I can hear voices. No, yeah, that's Well, there's either a battle or a party happening on the other side of this door.
You were able to like crack it open a little bit, but you can feel the resistance of something behind it.
I just go, Mapsmith. We're here to purchase or barter for one of your maps. I don't know if you use currency, but
you can hear from the other side, no one here by that name. And then another voice like in Goblin say something sharply, and that voice shuts up.
Goblin or Hobgoblin? Or are those the same language?
Same language.
What does he say? Because I understand Hobgoblin.
Okay. So a deeper, burlier voice just said to shut up.
Oh, excuse. And then in perfect like accented Hobgoblin, I say back, I'm like, by the way, shut up. Was that meant for me or him? Who exactly are you talking to?
And of course, Goblin back. It was to him, but you two.
The Mapsmith. Listen to me. Is he in there? If not, guess what? I have no interest in making your acquaintance. I just need to know if he's in there. And if not, I can leave you to your little wrestling match or, beer drinking competition or whatever you're doing.
Beer drinking.
Marty tries to take a peek and see if there's really beer over his in there.
There's no Mapsmith here.
You
Is
sound
there
like
beer?
you're
Does
lying,
Marty
but you
see
also
any
just
beer
sound
in
like
there?
a distrustful man.
Does Marty see any beer in there? Can I roll to see that?
Behind from what of the door opens. Let's see. I'll reveal on our map here just a little bit of the inside. One moment.
That's so cool how you can do that.
And our podcast listeners love it.
Yeah. Here, we'll give you. There's a special bonus ASMR for
seeing a
only
little crack.
podcast listeners after.
Looks like you can see 3 barrels of what could be beer, and a little guy and the edge of a big guy.
Those could be barrels full of maps too. Who knows?
The little guy looks like Jackrabbit.
so-
That helps.
I think that at this point, Niles has managed to clear some of the goop out of his ears to kind of get a sense of what's going on. And I do have a spell, ESP, that allows me to perceive and understand the thoughts of living creatures. Can I use that to just read the mind of this goblin and tell whether he's lying, and if I can get a hint from him as to where the Mapsmith is?
While Niles was studying in college, getting his doctorate, he was in MK Ultra, so he has ESP now. Participated in MK Ultra.
Yeah, Niles. So you cast ESP, maybe like raising your hands up in the direction of the door. What does it look
I
like?
I whispered to him when he was casting ESP. I wouldn't read the little one. I don't think there's much there.
So you get. What does it look like as you cast the spell? Is it a?
He crosses his eyes mostly. He just goes, ooh, and it's not very. It's TV budget, so.
Great. So you get in perfect clarity. You can hear in your mind the thoughts of the creature behind the door, saying, "I don't know anything about him. I know there's supposed to be a guy here, but we're just trying to get this stuff out of here. Just got to get this stuff through the tunnel. Get him to leave us alone."
And I don't know what the stuff is from reading the thoughts.
It's
this guy's only thinking of it as stuff.
This
Or
guy
is he thinking
is
of
only
it
thinking
as
of it as stuff.
specifics?
He doesn't even
Told you,
really know what
Niles,
it is.
There's not much there.
I think if Niles conveys this to us, which do you?
Which Niles does, yeah.
I think we should go seek alternate. We should go to the
Yeah,
other
if
door.
it's not the Mapsmith, it's fine. Well,
Yeah.
anyways, thanks for none of your help. Toodles. And I slam the door back closed. To the west, then?
To the
Great.
west.
So you make your way to the westward door, opening it up, which reveals what appears to be a large library type room. It's a
Oh.
long hall, bookshelves like on each wall, several rows like moving down the length. There is a large chest to the north. So sort of to your right. A couple of like desks for study. Several of the bookshelves are filled with like map scrolls and other like books and atlases. There's kind of a theme to everything on the shelves.
Yeah, I immediately notice some dusty tome and run over it until like, Niles, a first edition of Yarnland's Care Trips. Have you seen this? This is
Don't touch it without your touching gloves. And Niles pulls out some.
Yeah, I put on white gloves
goofy
over
ass
my
little
plate mail.
satin gloves. Yeah.
As you do so, emerging from behind one of the bookshelves is this like bronze dwarven made robot creature that immediately comes waddling over. Touch nothing! Touch nothing!
We're wearing the gloves.
He snatches it out of your gloved hand and desperately puts it back on the shelf. No!
Well, I will say I respect the I honor the respect for the book and the organization.
You three are a match made in heaven. Or hell for me.
Niles.
I'm old.
Niles turns to Martin and Frasier and says, leave it to me. I have a lot of experience with automatons. I was married to Maris after all. Yeah, it's good. Okay.
I just
I
say
talked to
Marty
Robot.
gives a huge laugh at that. He actually really thought that was funny. That was a good
Thank
one.
you, Dad.
I just quietly say to Niles, like, be careful, Niles. They're the only ones we can't psychoanalyze. It's a secret weakness. And I'll introduce you, but you
Hello
can't
there,
talk
friend.
like
Pardon the intrusion, but we are looking for the map smith, for we are searching for the fancy bottle of wine that probably has a name.
The automaton like its gears begin to whir, its head moves back and forth a little bit in sort of like a no shaking. The mapsmith has been reclusive as of late. I'm afraid it's impossible to him.
We all become reclusive
Well.
once in a while, but you have to do your job.
I'm afraid he forges maps for no man now.
We are
I'm afraid
no
it's not a very lucrative business model.
we are no men. We are 3 elves, 1 wood elf dad and his 2 high elf sons.
Yeah, but you fundamentally understand that that's the same thing.
Well, we
That's
could
pretty
argue that elves
pedantic.
have been around longer than men, so maybe it should be men that should be fundamentally elves. Just saying.
Hey man, I just work here.
Yeah. Regardless, when will his little mental health hiatus be over? Which I say with way too much disdain for someone who works in the mental health industry.
I hope soon, but there seems to be no end in sight.
While they're talking with the automaton, I would like to Marty and the dog Eddie go around and look for titles that could be like on these books that are relevant to the dungeon or anything wine, like anything likely that they see, and try and surreptitiously take them.
I'll say this. I'll say to the Tongan, well, let's have a chat, you my little metal gentleman. Your boss, this mapsmith, you say he's been reclusive, perhaps a sign
Yes.
of depression. It seems like he maybe has some sort of, issue of the mind, and in fact, both me and my brother Niles here, who has looked better, that's the poison, excuse him for his appearance, are in fact some of the best. I don't know what would a psychiatrist psychiatrist be called in those times? Like a mental barber or something?
I think it would be like
Brain bard.
like a shaman or a witch doctor
Brain
kind of
barber.
thing.
Yeah.
A brain barber.
Are some of the
Lobotomists.
are both well-known brain barbers in our own right, and perhaps giving us access, we could not only speak to him, but get him out of his reclusivity, as it were.
I wish we'd had the term brain barber when we did The Sopranos.
Brain barber.
I'm not sure. I unfortunately haven't been able to speak with him myself, but listen. He's to the north. He points to the door to the north of in this library. He's to the north, up the hall.
I say
There is-
quietly to Niles, everyone in the dungeon's in their cardinal directions. I can see the door.
But the podcast listeners can't.
Yes, I know.
It's well, he says there his forge is well guarded by 3 like me, but listen, there's one of a more bronze coloring who controls the whole kind of operation up there. If you manage to snip some of his wires, take him offline, the other ones will go offline as well, and you could potentially see the Mapsmith.
Oh.
That was nonsensical. I apologize.
No. Are the way you're saying this suggests that they're violent? Are they violent little?
Oh,
men?
they will defend. They will defend the Mapsmith's door.
That could be good
Now,
for
what
you
is it
boys. A
about
little
your
combat could
relationship?
be good for both of you. Put some
What
hair
is
on
it
your
that makes
chest.
you so quick to give us their weakness?
I'm hoping that the Mapsmith will come out of this funk that he's been in and forge maps for adventurers once more. And that I will have maps to sort and organize. It's really all that I have.
Makes sense to me.
I've been
Well.
very bored.
Well, I suppose we should go chat with these violent little creatures.
So I haven't found anything that's like relevant.
It's
Here.
so there are it's a little unparsable. There's nothing that stands out to you as like immediately useful. If you just want to grab a couple, you can try.
No, I don't want to grab willy-nilly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Martin?
let's go to the
Yeah,
north.
I say, well, Martin, it seems like there might be violence ahead. I know how you love it.
I don't love it. I love spending time with my sons, doing something together, useful, a little violence can be good for you boys. Come on.
Well,
Yippee!
So, as our adventurers trek off to the north of the dungeon, opening the door, heading down another long hallway, should we say thank you to some subscribers?
Yeah.
let's do it.
Do we have a big list somewhere?
I've got it
maybe
in
Streamlabs?
Streamlabs. Yeah, I can
Great.
do that. As far as I can tell, big thanks to the Future Meme, somebody we all know, good friend. Thank you for the subscription. Thank you to Fragilities. Thank you to Dr. Hacken, who has subscribed with a Prime subscription, which you may have too. If you have Amazon Prime, you have a free Prime subscription to any streamer of your choice. Costs you absolutely nothing. That should be available up on the top right if you see it. Then thank you to Paranoid Mar for gifting 5 subs to
Yeah, I saw that.
Gavin Watches, What's the Matter with You, Ultronius, Whether or No, and Jacuzzi Tubs, who is not subscribed. Boo!
Wow.
I've
To
been
Carolyn.
busy. Lapsed. I'm unemployed.
And to Miravalier. I'm saying Miravalier, however that's pronounced. Thank you for the subscription.
Thank you, everybody. That really does help
Yeah.
us keep doing the show.
True.
It does. It's the only income I have right now.
So as you make your way through the halls, eventually reaching another door. This door is not thick iron like the others. It appears to be made out of wood and looks like it was hastily kind of replaced.
And would you say that it also looks locked or not?
It does not look locked.
That's the first one of the season, baby.
How are
The
the
bit is dead. No one's amused.
I enjoyed the bit.
I
honestly
liked
enjoyed
it. I thought it just felt so natural, you know? Like I thought it was legitimately just a good question. Niles looks at the shitty door and says, you know, like map smith, yes, but not too much of a doorsmith, and then just tries it without thinking.
So you open the door, which opens to another kind of long hall, dimly lit by torches. There are, however, these 3 tank-like dwarven automatons. Sort of look like those robotic dogs you see from MIT.
Oh, from the Boston Dynamics?
Yeah.
Oh, man. That means you can't flip them over. They'll get back up. No.
Let's see. They immediately alert to your presence, and they have these arms on the back of them that appear to like spark some sort of electricity, magic electricity. You see,
Yeah.
2 of them are of a
Thunder
silver
magic.
color.
Yeah.
2 of them are of a silver color. The other one to the east is a copper bronzish color.
That's the controller one.
That's the one
we
that's
need to
worth
kill.
less per pound if you melted him.
Can we tell from looking at it whether it's copper or bronze?
You cannot.
I
But I
want to
believe-
know
Oh,
if
hello,
it
my good man.
oxidizes, whether it will become covered in verdigris or.
Yeah. I'll just go. Hello, my good man. Your fellow outside described you as a violent bunch, but I think you're simply misunderstood. I'd love to talk this out if possible.
They are, of course, charging.
Okay. Well then. I suppose his evaluation was spot on. Niles to battle.
Let's see. I'm gonna do quick initiative rolls for everybody.
Take out the copper one first.
One moment.
Oh, I don't see a copper one, Dad. I see one made of bronze, I think.
It's clearly copper, Niles. Look at the reflectivity.
You know
But
what? I can't
don't
quite
see
figure
any
out initiative right
verdigris
now.
on it.
You guys go first. What do you want to do?
Niles panics and like waves his arm around in the dorkiest possible way before casting a magic missile. It looks just like it's embarrassing. Marty like shakes his head. He's just like, "Oh my god, no."
So magic missile is of course an unerring magic missile. So go ahead and roll a d6. Which one are you attacking?
The bronze one, baby.
Great. Go ahead and roll a d6 for damage.
That's a 4.
All right. It let's see. So the magic missile hits the bronze automaton. There's of course a like purple like sparkle as it hits it, leaving a pretty intimidating scorch mark in it, and dealing a pretty decent dent of damage into the creature, which does stay a lot like up and upright.
Niles is pleased with himself and says, "Ah, have at thee, foe!" And then like turns to Frasier and Marty and like nods, like he's really ripped a good one.
Marty rolls his eyes really hard.
Frasier enjoys it. So there's the silver ones are to our left, and I'm in the doorway, and the bronze / copper, depending on the amount of verdigris that we can find on it, is to the right. I'll move to the left here and try to hold off the silver one so that they can get shots in on the bronze one.
Okay.
Oh, great.
They're like,
Marty's
on guard.
Marty's
Great.
gonna try and zip through and pincer motion send Eddie around to the back, and Marty's gonna slash at the bronze one with his sword.
If I'm not attacking,
great.
then I'll ready a block because I have a shield, so I think I can do that.
That's smart. Okay. So that's it. Frasier, you can attack if you'd like to first.
I'll slash the one that's the one on the bottom, the one to the south.
Great.
Just to keep
go ahead
him away
and-
from the door more.
Great. Go ahead and roll a d20 plus 1.
Okay. 20. That's a 16
Oh.
plus 1 is 17.
That does hit. Your sword
do-
sinks.
I do like a traditional, never used in real combat fencing move, just like straight out of nowhere.
And you deal 5 damage, so like your sword sinks right into the automaton's metal body.
I go,
Doing pretty good
touche!
damage.
Which is the real use of touche. So it's like almost, is that a double entendre? Not really. I'm not as smart as
It's
Frasier
just
is.
the most straightforward
It's a single
entendre.
entendre.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard playing a character that's smarter than you are.
Yeah. Oh, my brain.
I feel like I'm as
Uh,
smart as Marty, so I'm fine.
And then Martin, you wanted to make an attack on the bronze automaton, correct?
Yes, with
Uh,
pincer move with Eddie.
Great. On your so you have lost your longbow, but you have your sword. Go ahead and roll your sword.
Boop-ba-da-da-ba-ba. Oh my god, I'm rolling terribly. 6.
Marty, what's the miss look like?
The miss, Marty. he trips on his peg leg a little bit. It get caught on the cobblestones, and he just like inches away from the beast's face. Sing, but no contact.
You do have your animal companion Eddie. Would you like to try again?
Yeah, Eddie's gonna try to redeem that roll. So I just roll the same dice, the
Just do
same
it
sword
again,
dice
yeah.
over again. Yeah.
Oh no, it's no better.
Oh.
Eddie like sinks its jaws into like what the leg and is like trying to pull at it, but it does nothing.
Terrible, terrible rolls. Yeah, Eddie and I are not doing good with this copper one.
Great. So that means it is now the automaton's turn. The silver ones on the left-hand side of the hall are going to come for Frasier.
Yeah, I'm aggroing as many as possible.
Great.
Land your strike.
The first one attacks. Does 16 versus your AC for 2 damage.
16 ties my AC. Is that a hit?
That will hit.
Okay.
And then the second one comes in with a body slam, but only rolls a 2, so you manage to keep it at bay with your shield.
I do like a deflection, like again, like it's just a fencing move and just like slides off my sword. And the other one, that's how the other one hits me, is only because I was doing my move.
Right.
A strike from the back. No gentleman are you.
So let's see, Martin, you are right up against the bronze automaton, who's going to take the arm that's on its back and like press the teeth on the end of the arm like into you and attempt to shock you.
May I take a moment just to say bronze automaton, because that's very
Yeah, that's a good one.
Bronze automaton.
So we agree
Bronze
that
automaton.
it's bronze and not copper after all. Okay.
John Dubrow
I
said
need to
that
know whether it's an alloy or whether it's pure copper. Okay.
John Dubrow says all copper are bronze. I don't really know what that means totally, but
Martin, can you save versus paralysis as the
that's
electric shock courses
not
through your
correct.
body?
oh god, yeah, let me do that. Let me save versus paralysis. Oh jeez.
Pokemon
Where is
rules.
it? Yeah, Pokemon rules. Oh no. Okay, here we go. A
Martin,
9?
the electricity courses through your body and you are stone still for the next round.
Oh no.
Zzz.
I feel like me and Niles.
All my
I'm,
hair is
I'm not
sticking
gonna
up,
like.
and all of Eddie's hair is sticking up too. Like we're both like.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not mentioning because I know that Martin is probably very, like, feeling very bad about that he's not can't adventure at the level he used to.
No.
I'm just not gonna rub it in.
So it is your guys' turn again. Martin, you will not get a turn because you are paralyzed.
Martin's fully paralyzed, no moves.
One more.
So Frasier and Niles.
I'll hit again on the one that I damaged before, the one to the bottom.
Great, go ahead and make an attack roll.
And another strike for you. Let's go. 18 plus 1, 19.
Wow, your sword very effectively sinks into the automaton and slays it.
Yeah.
Ah.
And then I turn to the other silver automaton and I'm like, let's see how you do in a fair fight, man. Not so brave when it's one-on-one. Niles, how's it
Niles?
going back there?
No! Niles is like being chased around in a circle by the automaton, and then goes, "Ha!" And is preparing to attack. This time, just with my dagger, I suppose, since I gotta change it up a little. Keep him on his toes.
All right, go ahead and
so
strike with your dagger.
I'm striking with my dagger. There's a sweet roll. That's a beautiful roll. Oh yeah, that's
I
a.
How would you
What
describe
is that? A
number?
100? I would describe it as like a 100, but like you don't count the zeros on it, so it just looks kind of like a 1.
Oh, so it's a 1? Any
Oh,
adjective you could
no.
think of for like that 1, though?
Yeah, bad.
Oh, okay. I was thinking more of like
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
like a really bad one.
Is it
Like no
organic
pesticides,
or like like
growth
free
hormone,
range?
or just like
Would you maybe like
did it grow up
maybe
on a
like a
farm with
nat-
other ones running around?
Oh
maybe
yeah,
like a
it's an organic
natural.
one. Got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
natural organic. one.
Niles, you thrust your dagger into this automaton, and like you find like a gap in between some of these bronze plates where your hand is now stuck. You are now trapped like within the gears of this automaton.
I thought you were gonna get shocked for sure.
If this were copper, I would have been able to pull my hand out. Yeah,
Okay.
that's-
So now we go back to the automaton's turn. On the left hand of the hall, the silver automaton or iron, I don't know what it is going to attack Frasier. It's going to slam its body into him. That is 10 versus your AC.
Nope.
So just boom up against your shield. Does it even knock
Rebuffed
you back?
again.
Or... And then let's see. The bronze one is going to attack Niall. Or sorry, it's going to attack Martin. And he's going to do it with advantage because you are paralyzed. Martin, you see this thing begin to attack in slow motion. Does it miss?
My AC is 13.
Okay, so it gets to attack again.
Oh no!
This time it does hit only for 3 damage. Not that bad.
Okay.
Can we get a cut to Eddie who does that thing with his paw and looks
Yeah.
like a very trained way?
But that's the round. It's back up to your guys' turn.
Yeah, okay.
Martin, you're able to
Niles?
shake off the paralysis.
Niles, I hear what seems like our father yelping in pain. I say again, how are you doing back there?
Mon Dieu! I am having quite the hard time as I'm being like pulled around, I think, by this thing. It's, like pulling me towards attacking Martin, and I'm just like getting dragged behind it, like barely on my heels as I skate behind
I
it.
turn and see him. You always did have a problem with becoming overly attached.
This is not the time, Frasier! Help your brother!
I'm good. Very good. Marty's gonna take another swing at the automaton, the
Right.
bronze one. Oh, I should roll my sword, right? Okay, let me
Yes.
roll my sword.
Martin, you take a swing, and unfortunately, it just sparks up against the automaton. Nothing.
Nothing.
I have a question. I have a ring of hold person. Are automaton persons?
There's been a lot of debate about it.
Really?
In the world.
community.
Yeah.
There's a lot of locked forum threads about this, in fact.
However, here on this show, we very clearly land on the side of automatons are people.
Okay. I would like to use my ring of hold person on the silver one so that I can go help everyone else.
Great. It gets to make a save.
Yeah.
To avoid that.
Let's go.
Second.
A moment, please. Hold my hand out and my ring glows. That's a good save.
It does succeed on the save, unfortunately shaking it off.
There we go. An
Oh.
automaton isn't a person. Niles, take notes. Our study when we get out.
I would, but as soon as I get a free hand.
So it's Frasier's turn. Martin took his turn. Niles, you were currently stuck in the automaton. What do you do?
Can I feel around for wires in there that I can pull out?
Ooh, you can.
Ooh.
Let's see. I'll roll a d6 on a 1 or a 2. You might find something of use.
All right, here we go. Rolling the good stuff. It's a 6. It's as far away
You're
from what you
tugging
asked
stuff.
for as
You're
possible.
feeling like wires and things break, but it's not. It doesn't seem to be slowing this thing down at all. All right, so we are back to the automaton's turn. The automaton has not been held, or the one on the left has not been held personed, and is going to slam into Frasier again.
Again with the slamming.
That is a 17 versus your AC, but only deals 1 damage.
Okay. I'm just again with the slamming. How about a little artistry in your attacks?
It's just getting back, like backing up,
Yeah.
forcing itself back in.
It's going full Boston Dynamics. It's just haywire. I think it's just kind of like I basically take like impact force from it just like hitting me. Like like a little chest compression. I'm like, oh.
Let's see. The bronze automaton is going to take its mechanical arm and strike Niles. It's going to roll with advantage because you are caught in its body.
Oh, God.
Oh no.
Niles, you take a hit for 4 damage. And you're not doing great on HP anymore.
Yeah.
You are now at 5
No.
HP.
We'll do a quick health check. I'm at 21 of 24. Martin's at 15 of 24. Niles is at a 5? Is that what correct?
Magic user, baby.
Oh,
Yeah, That's right,
no.
baby.
You went in with the dagger.
so-
Niles, all you talk about is magic, and then you go in with a dagger?
Oh, I was trying something different for once. If you only knew that variety can be the spice of life. He's like got a tremendous nosebleed, and it's like really gross and pathetic as he's trying to.
Variety's
Justify
about
himself.
to be the spice of death. Stay in your lane.
Uh,
I would love to see a retcons Frasier where Martin says, stay in your lane. to Frasier
All
and
the
Niles.
time. Yeah. Some 90s equivalent of
Yeah.
stay in your lane.
No, just stay in your lane.
it's your guys' turn again.
I'll just go try to yank Niles' hand out because I'm so sick of this now.
Yeah.
Like, good God, Niles. Get a hold of yourself.
Let's see. Go ahead.
I've
and make
got
a
a hold of something else. Can I throw? It's not a pervert thing. Don't laugh. Can I jump in and just say like I'm like gripping wires with all my tremendous meager force right now, and if Frasier's gonna pull me out, then I want him to pull me out while I'm holding onto wires.
I love that. Okay, what's going to happen here is, Tony,
is-
you're going to roll a d6. You got a 50%
Okay.
chance of just grabbing
This
the
is
guts out.
the exact way that people in cartoons get their hands stuck in pickle jars because they refuse to let go of the pickle. That's what's happening here.
Eli,
In this
roll,
case, that pickle will save our lives.
Eli, roll a d20 under your strength, which is 14.
Okay.
And meet or under it.
All right.
Um,
D20, come on. 6. Yes.
That's a 6,
Oh.
baby. So Niles' hand is coming out. Tony, a 1, 2, or 3, you
Hand's
will pull
coming.
out something critical.
Here we go, rolling. It's
Yay!
a 1.
Yay!
So you
I
just yank
turn
out.
that
You have,
robot inside out like a sock.
you have
It's
a
disgusting.
Ew.
Niles. You have a handful of automaton grease, wires, and gears. Like just some panel on the interior of it. The automaton rears back and begins to like clumsily move around the hall, bumps into a pillar, sparks, moves over to there's a statue in the center of the room, knocks it over, which collapses, and then like spurts and then dies.
Yeah.
Niles looks to Frasier and Martin and says, "Well, what can I say? After Maris left, I've gotten good at tugging."
Niles.
Disgusting.
And that was, of course, the control
I'm
automaton.
sorry.
So the other silver automaton at the other end of the room also just goes offline.
And he
goes
does that thing where he hides his face in his paw again.
And now that Niles has said the tugging thing and he's got his hand all covered in oil, I'm like, well, then you'll be familiar with this. And then I hand him a handkerchief. But it's not one I used, just my regular handkerchief.
It's just a clean one.
It's a clean one.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Clean
it's not your
yourself
jerk
up.
off handkerchief.
No.
Niles goes to zip up his pants and realizes that they're already zipped. Sorry,
Breeches.
how many layers can we add to this? His breeches, yes. I'm sorry.
So you are now free to
Move about the cabin.
Marty
Move
in
about the cabin.
disgust. Marty in disgust at his stupid sons walks up and checks out this door.
So yeah, they you head down a smaller hallway to a door. It is the same iron door as several of the others earlier in the dungeon. This one also, the soldering on like the sides, I don't know if that's the word,
Yes,
appears to be
soldering, but
newer.
it's-
Soldering, that's it.
But it's spelled
Um,
with an L,
It is,
right?
yeah. It's confusing.
It appears to be like newly installed.
Oh. But can Marty
Also-
go first in front?
Also,
And
can I
he-
give
he
Niles
wants to knock on the
rations?
door.
Yes, you can.
Oh yeah, we
7.
should stop and heal if we can. I would like to do that because my son
Yeah,
is
you
very
have
hurt.
rations. Each ration heals 1 HP.
It's a wheel of nasty, like that soft cheese and crackers. I feed it. I give it to Niles. I don't need it. I'm very strong and healthy.
Yeah, Niles kind of eats it and says, like, well, it doesn't have the typical funk of the kind of cheese that I would like from the northern pastures, but I suppose it will do.
You know the
How many-
northern pasture cheeses wouldn't hold up in this humidity, Niles. Don't be silly.
Niles scoffs and spits out like several teeth.
So you should get 7 HP if you ate all of them.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
yeah,
everyone's
I
back
eat,
to
I eat all the cheese and crackers.
Great. So you're opening the door, Martin?
Yeah, well, I want to listen to see if there's an immediate threats first.
You can, there's nothing immediately apparent.
Okay, then yes, I would like to open the door.
So when you open the door, you're immediately struck by the heat of this room. It is clearly a forge. There are 2 anvils, a boiling cauldron of like magma, because that's
Magma
what things are
cauldron.
forged. Magma cauldrons.
Yeah.
Tools laying about. And a very sullen-looking dwarf. He's bald with his long red beard, in armor that seems to be like engraved like a treasure map.
Cool.
He looks
Is
at
this
you
a
and
backdoor like Prison Break pilot, and that's like the tattoos of the guy in Prison
That's
Break
exactly
to get
what
out
it
of the prison?
I thought
Oh
his
my
name was
God.
Matt Smith, and this was a Doctor Who thing.
he's a dwarf
Next
who
week,
spits
it's
math.
Prison Break Doctor Who
That's it, baby.
mashup, just like the fans have wanted.
He looks up at you, Martin, as you enter. Was like, "Who let you in here?"
We let ourselves in. We need your help. Map maker. Make us a map.
Map maker, make us
Make me a map.
He
Find
has
me
this,
that
like-
wine.
he has this like fiery rage in his eyes that you can actually see stems from intense sadness.
Yeah.
You're both psychologists, you can see it in
Yeah.
and he begins to like soften as he realizes like he has to finally admit, I cannot. My hammer has been stolen.
A fetch quest?
Marty fucking tips over the anvil in anger.
I would like to forge a map for you, but I need 5 coals. You have to find the raw materials. Aren't you glad this game costs $60?
Agog, the Goblin King, has broken into my forge and stolen my great map.
And then I walk in and I go, as well, the fire may be gone from your forge, but it seems to me perhaps the fire is also gone from your eyes, my friend. Answer me a couple of questions yourself. Do you find yourself not enjoying activities that would typically bring you happiness? And then,
It's-
like,
I mean,
Niles
it's-
is walking up with me. I feel like we both have little notebooks out.
He's going out. He just immediately starts talking about his mother.
Marty's actually gonna sit on the anvil and take out a little thing of rations, which is Cracker Jack popcorn, and just like sit and like watch and like listen.
So
I
the mapsmith.
diagnosed it to Frasier as the classic edible complex. Oedipus, of course, being a guy that we know who killed his father and had sex with his mom.
Yeah.
The mapsmith proceeds to explain that Agog, the Goblin King, has stolen his mighty mapsmithing hammer. And if you were able to retrieve his mighty hammer from the depths of the Goblin King's lair, he would happily forge you a map to wherever you would like to go. So next week, assuming you take the quest, if not, we'll have to figure something else out. Next week, we descend into the lair of Agog, the Goblin King.
Yeah.
I've got some side quests I wanted to get out of the way. You know.
Yeah, I'd really like to finish up this area of the map, just with side quests before we move on to the next.
Yeah, we're gonna 100% this.
Yeah. Sorry, man. This guy lost some of his goats. I gotta go track them.
And I've got to find every recipe for this certain set of armor that I'm not gonna wear, but do need to get just to 100% it.
Let me ask you this, Mapsmith. Do you play Gwents? Do you? You want to play?
Everybody got another hour.
cards?
Eli and I are gonna play cards.
Yeah, a round of Orlog, perhaps.
Don't fucking tease about Orlog. I will
love
throw down
Orlog.
on some Orlog. It's great, best mini game ever. Besides Gwent, of course.
So obviously we're ending things in the middle of a dungeon here, but do we have a final shot for everyone to end this episode?
I mean, I feel like we're really. I've got the dwarf laying down on his anvil, which he can do because he's a dwarf, and he's kind of relating things to me. I'm sitting and taking notes.
Is this like the silent post-credit sequence that's like, oh,
Yes.
baby, I hear the bluesy calling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Marty's asleep. Marty's asleep with Eddie curled up on his lap.
Dude, it was probably so comfy to sleep in a forge, like near the corner where it's not too hot. Man.
Yeah, on the stone floor. That sounds really
Yeah,
comfortable.
like a cat would.
Niles is feeling the empty sockets in his mouth where his teeth were, and is like picking up little like screws and things from the bronze automaton and seeing what fits in there.
Can we get back to the deal? Can we get some gold fucking teeth for Niles? If we
Niles?
Get
Yeah,
his
Niles wants a grill.
yeah.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really good at teeth. I do more maps, but yeah.
Well, as you can tell, Niles isn't very good at teeth either.
Guys, that was the season premiere of TV&D.
Woo!
Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Let's see. We have a Discord. If you're here on Twitch, the link is down below. If you're listening to this on the podcast, come hang out with us on Twitch sometime. We're here Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. EST at twitch.tv/TV&D. You can find us around. Is there anyone else we have to say thank you to, or were there any subscribers in between? Last time we
just one final gifted sub from Amiability, a common gifter here. Thank you so much. And
Thanks,
then
Amy.
should we plug our YouTube as well? If the podcast is like, what do these fools look like?
Yes. Let's see. We're youtube.com or TVD show. TVD show.
TVD show.
And I think that's it for this week. We'll see everybody next time. Am I right?
Yeah, bye everybody.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.